Hey guys, what's up? It's Lex, and I understand that you want to learn a thing or two about art resin. Well, I have been using art resin for a long time, and I'm happy to show you and share with you how I use it, why I use it, and what do I think about it. So let's go ahead and go into the studio and I will show you what I can do and what I know. Welcome to the studio. Come inside and see where the magic happens. Now I paint in lipstick, as most of you know, or maybe you're new to my channel. That is what I do. My specialty is painting in lipstick. It's unusual, I know, but it's pretty damn cool. So I protect all of my pieces in this epoxy art resin. It leaves a really lovely, sexy shine on your work, and it protects it from smudging, fading, scratching, UV damage, everything. All right guys, so this is my work surface. I generally just work on the floor. You can work on a tabletop if you like, but this way I can just spread out and I don't know, it just works for me. So the items that you're going to need are a level, a flat gallon bucket or a pitcher, which you'll use again and again, so make sure it's a crappy one. A stirring stick, you can just get this from Home Depot. 4 paper cups, or actually however many you need. If you have a big piece, you're gonna need more than that. I like to use solo cups versus measuring cups, preferably see-through, 2 of them. Rubber gloves, a blowtorch or a heat gun. I kind of like this element. It's sort of like the badass version of what I do. And you're gonna need your art resin. Part 1 and part 2 is your resin hardener. You can get them in small bottles. I get them in huge bottles because I use it all the time. Oh, and lastly, don't forget a plastic drop cloth. I kind of just get this plastic drop cloth from Home Depot. You could also use a tarp or something like that. And of course, your artwork. So I just wrapped up a piece for a James Bond fan, and I mean, can you blame him? He wanted this portrait of this bodacious Bond girl. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover her up with a nice art resin finish, and she's just gonna become that much sexier, guys. Just you wait and see. Okay, first step that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna lift your canvas up on your 4 cups. And these you can just use again and again. Next, you're gonna wanna use your level and make sure that it is level on all sides. Now, resin is self-leveling, so it's really important that you get all sides nice and level so you don't have pooling or dripping on one side. It will really lay its nicest if it's perfectly level. So if it's not, I kind of like to use my old, you can use pieces of paper, or I like to use just old business cards that I don't use anymore to lift aside. So I can see this side needs to be raised a little bit, so I'm just gonna stick a couple old business cards under there, and that will give it just enough of a lift. I use gloves because I like to spread my resin with my hands. Usually there's art resin kits that come with spatulas to spread the resin, but I like to use my hands because they're softer, and I find that the spatula will scratch off the lipstick. You're gonna wanna make sure that there's no dust sitting on your piece, so any little dust particles will float to the surface. So I suggest you can either use an air gun and blow it off, or you can just use a dry paintbrush, and that will help get any little floating pieces of dust or hairs or whatever off of it. So you've got a nice clean surface to work with. Next, you're gonna fill your 2 cups with your resin and your hardener, and these have to be equal parts. This is very important. If it's off by a drop or 2, honestly, it's okay, unless you're working with a really small piece. But try to get it as equal as you can in both cups. Okay, so you're gonna take your pitcher or your bucket, and you are going to pour both equal parts into your container. And make sure you try and scrape out all the bits. Get as much out as you can. And I do recommend that you work with gloves. This stuff is super duper sticky. So, you know, unless you want to feel like you've got like tree sap on your hands, I suggest just wearing gloves and be mindful of your clothes and your surrounding areas, because this stuff is not fun to clean off. All right, so we're gonna stir this for about 3 minutes. Okay, so we've been stirring for about 3 minutes and we are ready to pour. So starting in the center and working your way out, we're gonna cover all of those precious kiss prints. So you're gonna scrape out as much as you can. And then I like to use my hands, like I said, and I'm just gonna spread this as close to the edge as I can. You can let it drip over if you want, or you can butt it right up. I used to tape my edges, but I found that that was a little bit of a pain in the butt. I know the Art Resin website has some tips on that if you wanna check them out. Actually, you should check them out because you're gonna have to order some product after this. So I basically level it out as best as I can with my hands, and I get as close to the edge as possible. I'm just gonna bring the camera over so you can see better like the consistency and how this looks. So I'm just barely kind of butting it up to the edges here. And I mean, if it drips down, it's okay, it's not a big deal. You can just wipe it off, or sometimes the effect of the drips on this side is actually really cool. So it's really honestly your personal preference for your artwork. Don't worry about all these bubbles, because all of these bubbles will be coming out with the blowtorch. And that part is so fun. It's nothing to be intimidated of either. I was a little bit worried about the blowtorch when I first started, but I really honestly love working with it. I'm gonna have to start making some creme brulee or something. Okay, so you want your blowtorch to sort of be at a medium level. You don't want it to be blazing, but you don't want it to be too gentle either. You're not gonna touch the piece, you just wanna hover right over it. And I'm trying to get an angle so you can see it. Okay, here we go. Can you see it popping the bubbles? So satisfying. So you just wanna hover it and allow the heat to pop those bubbles. And you want to hold it about 2 inches from your canvas, I'd say. 2 to 3 inches will do. Seriously though, look at how gorgeous this is. The resin it locks in all of those beautiful colors, those beautiful kiss prints. It really adds an awesome contemporary sexy shine onto your artwork. Okay, so we're gonna give her a full 24 hours to dry, and I will check back in with you guys once it's finished and show you just how damn awesome it is once it's totally dry. So, see you in a second. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty pumped to go over and check out how the piece cured overnight. So let's go take a walk over the studio and see how it turned out. All right, guys, here she is. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful. Look at how beautiful that is. All right, it's like a perfect glass-like finish. I don't know if you guys can see that reflection and that shine, but oh man. And it's totally hard now. And this resin has completely locked in all of those kiss prints. It's really made the colors a little bit more vivid, and it's really added a nice contemporary luster to this piece. Oh, and I love it. So if If my enthusiasm hasn't already shown through, I'm really pumped with how this turned out, but I'm always so pumped with how Art Resin turns out. It's truly a beautiful product, and I don't even work for them. This is just me doing this because I really believe in their product, and I love that it's non-toxic. I love that I can do this when my babies are around and you don't have to wear a respirator or anything like that. The resin just really helps validate your piece of artwork. I mean, just look at it. It was once flat. It was beautiful, but it was flat, and now it's shiny and it's contemporary and modern, and I'm in love. So I do recommend that you still go ahead and check out Art Resin. You can see the link to their website below, and also follow their Instagram at Art Resin. They have a really fun feed, and they provide tons of tips, tricks, tutorials, and all kinds of good information for you to learn from. So I do recommend you check them out, but if you liked this video and you found what I provided for you was helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Obviously, share this video to anybody that you think would be interested, any of your artist friends that are looking to try, and obviously subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time. For the record, I wasn't intentionally trying to match my house, but you know, whatever. We blend. And let's also not compare our chest sizes right now because, well, she's got me beat tenfold.